Welcome back to the Human Nexus podcast. My name is Andrew Brazis. I am a marketing consultant and private chef.
Welcome back. My name is Miss Laura Machiste. I am an online tarot reader, holistic massage therapist, and energy coach. And today we are talking about Sagittarius season and all things Sagittarius, ninth house energy, and possibly even our experience with Sagittarius people in general. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll start just because I don't have a ton of experience with Sagittarius that I know. I think my north node is Sagittarius. I feel I might want to fact check that. I do have Sagittarius in my chart somewhere, but I don't really know any Sagittarius people, to be honest. So I kind of don't know a ton. And yeah, I don't have a lot of info here, unfortunately.
I've experienced a lot of Sagittarius people,
Hmm.
specifically, I would say men and women, actually.
Hmm.
And there is like this instinct difference between the two of them, which I find like really interesting, but very funny people. Like they are like natural comedians.
Hmm.
Sagittarius people have like really good laughs, I feel like, or they can like make other people laugh very easily. From my experience with Sagittarius, I feel like very bold as well. If anybody's gonna like, if there's like a group of people and like nobody wants to speak up, a
A Sagittarius
Sagittarius
speaks up.
or a Virgo would, I would say.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I feel that way because of a bunch of different things through my experience and also even like what the sign holds itself.
Hmm.
Sagittarius is ruled by the archer, which
Hmm.
is somebody who is shooting an arrow. But in mythology and astrology, it is ruled by a half man, half horse individual that is shooting the bow and arrow. So that was always very interesting to me because a lot of the zodiac signs are either ruled by an object or a animal, something that doesn't seem like it's too out of the ordinary. Sagittarius gives me the most out of the ordinary because it is literally a half horse, half man.
Hmm.
And I feel like sometimes Sagittarius people don't even know that that's that either. They just think they're
Yeah.
ruled by somebody shooting a bow and arrow when in
I
actual
knew it as the Archer,
yeah.
but I didn't know all the context there. Hmm.
Yeah, so I knew that it was half horse, half man. I didn't know why, but after doing some research before this podcast, literally not that long ago, well, according to what Google says, it is connected to the Greek mythology of Sagittarius comes from the Latin word archer, and the top half of person would be the Sagittarius being expansive and higher level learning, shooting the archer, shooting the bow,
Hmm.
shooting the arrow. Yes,
Got
yes.
it.
And then the lower half, horse, would be considered the grounding force, the energy. So it's almost like higher self in human
Hmm.
and horse in keeping connected to the earth. And Sagittarius is a mutable sign. I am also a mutable sign. I feel like I understand Sagittarius on a level of where I look at them almost like, wow, you really did say that. Like Pisces and Sagittarius are both have a similar ruler of Jupiter. Sagittarius is the modern ruler of Jupiter, and Pisces is the ancient ruler of Jupiter. So a lot of Sagittarius people that I connect to, I'll think it, but they'll say it. And I'm like, oh
Hmm.
my gosh, you really said it. And they're like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, okay.
Interesting.
So it's like, those intrusive thoughts you have sometimes. Like a Sagittarius is not just going to think it, they
See,
will
now
say it.
now that's making me reflect on who I know has November, what is this? 22nd to December 21st birthdays. I'm going to be very aware of this now when I see these people as I
Yeah.
figure them out.
Oh,
That's
very
really interesting.
bold. Very
Yeah.
bold. And sometimes, I mean, I get this too as a Pisces person, and it could just be Jupiter. Jupiter is a huge gas giant. Sometimes it doesn't really, it just expands. It doesn't really know
Hmm.
exactly where it's expanding to or what maybe tone or attitude it's expanding with. So I feel like sometimes that could happen to Sagittarius people where they mean well, but the
Mhm.
way they say things, or maybe the way that it's worded, could come off like slightly harsh or offensive, or just something where it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting you to say that. It's kind of just like your intrusive thoughts actually being expressed.
I
But
see.
I feel like Sagittarius is like an energy because they rule the ninth house of higher level learning, which would be kind of like learning tarot, learning Reiki, learning things that are metaphysical, learning things that are out of the ordinary. Sagittarius could also, people that go away for school to a different country scream Sagittarius energy to me. Because you're not only traveling, which
Mhm.
Sagittarius rules traveling, but you're also traveling to learn. That is full
Oh.
Sagittarius.
So what I'm seeing here is exploration, adventure, and truth. Like, so they're seekers by
Yes.
nature, essentially. And then the horse part of them keeps them kind of grounded. Does that does that tie into the mutable energy? Is that part of that?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then how does that play into Sag season coming up? Like what are those like what can we expect essentially, I guess?
So I think I may have mentioned this in a previous episode. It was probably for Leo season. Fire seasons give you boosts.
Mhm.
So every, I think every fourth season is a fire season.
Yeah.
So Sagittarius is going to bring the collective energy a boost once again. We just went through Scorpio season, we shed the skin.
Mhm.
Now Sagittarius season says, all right, now let's how we're going to move forward in this new skin. What else are we going to learn? It's almost like when the scorpion sheds its skin, it feels like it's at completion. So when it does shed and it has like the new skin, now that is, it's kind of like finishing a journal and then having to buy a new journal to continue on journaling. So it's almost like Scorpio season closed the old journal, last page, there's no more left. Sagittarius opens the new journal, and it not only gives you a boost, but it gives you a sense of curiosity. So a lot of people try new things during Sagittarius season. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry. Oh,
Oh,
I was yeah, you go ahead.
so a lot of people try new things during Sagittarius season. So like you may even like have that in your thought process while you're
Mhm.
watching this, and you're like, "Oh wow, like that's weird because I never did this before, but I actually have it booked for December 6th, and that's Sagittarius season." Traveling is another thing that I already said, traveling for things that have to do with learning, and or I feel like a Sagittarius energy, say you could go to school to learn about the history of Hawaii.
Mhm.
Sagittarius is going to say, why am I going to learn about Hawaii while I live in Canada? I'm going to go to Hawaii, and that's
Yeah.
how I'll learn about it. That is full Sagittarius energy. I personally love Sagittarius energy. Do I love every Sagittarius person that I've come across? Do I love any sign that I've come across a bunch of times? Probably not.
Mhm.
But the Sagittarians definitely, there's just something bold and uncomfortable about them if you're not living in your truth, because they will call it out. And
Yeah.
sometimes, like I
So
said, they might not have a greatest way of calling it out.
so being blunt or
Yes.
like uncomfortably honest, I guess. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's really good. And I think too, it's interesting that at least here in the US, Thanksgiving falls on in this Sagittarius season. And I feel like those holiday conversations are usually, I guess, depending on your life, pretty uncomfortable, blunt, honest conversations around, Thanksgiving time, which is
Yep.
which is really interesting. Or traveling for that matter to go places to see family or
Because
yeah.
more people get together. I feel like Christmas is more of like an immediate family type of thing.
Hmm.
Thanksgiving is more of an extended family type of thing.
Yeah, or like thing.
Right. So
Even
you're
yeah.
right on point with that. There are going
Yeah.
to be people that travel to where another family is hosting, or they are the
Hmm.
hoster or something like that. And usually Thanksgiving, because it's not so lighthearted like Christmas is, definitely makes
Hmm.
sense with that more like blunt, like, well, how was your year? And it's kind of like people putting you on the spot. How's your love life? Christmas
Yeah.
time, people don't do that to you that much. It's more like, here's your
Yeah.
gift. Where's my gift? Or something like that, or what are we doing here? Where are we going there? It's not necessarily like, I feel like Thanksgiving is more of like an interrogation moment if you haven't
Mhm.
seen those people for
I
whatever type of time.
and I wonder, like, just to bring this full circle to the human nexus, like I feel like I would say there's a correlation to that. Like Thanksgiving, like if Thanksgiving fell in Leo season, I think the experience would be different.
Oh yeah, of
You know what I
course.
mean? So
Hmm.
that's really interesting. What? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so Sagittarius, what were you gonna say though? Because you might have been saying something I was gonna say.
No, it was unrelated.
Oh, okay. So in terms of what you just said too, with how it makes sense that it's in Sagittarius season opposed to in like a different season. If I were to think about Sagittarius, I'm sorry, Thanksgiving being in like Virgo season, it would probably be a lot of not only blunt energy but critical energy. I feel like at least Sagittarius season gives you the curious boost
Yeah.
where yeah, people might be a little bit more blunt or a little bit more truthful or maybe putting things out there, asking questions that are a little bit more uncomfortable, but there is more of a curiosity to learn why someone is going through something or why this happened or things along those lines to where I feel like in other seasons that aren't as curious and more like this is how it's done, Virgo
Hmm.
energy kind of gives me that. It gives more of an openness of, oh, okay, sorry you went through that. That seems hard. And it's almost like learning from the experience, learning how to approach it, learning how to express it is really big. But if you want to learn something new and you find it difficult to like obtain new information, use Sagittarius season because it will help.
That's good. That's a good insight. I think too, the other thing that I'm seeing here is optimism. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, so like in Scorpio season, I feel like things feel less optimistic because you're like shedding that old skin. It's kind of like it's kind of the end, like you were saying. But then now we have this fire energy and we're stepping into Thanksgiving or like the holiday season truly, which makes some people who enjoy that very optimistic for the next couple of months. Because I feel like after the holiday season, like January, February, at least here in the Midwest, it's like dull and like just kind of just blows all around to be
Right.
because it's just
Hmm.
snowy and cold and there's no like holidays to really look forward to anymore. So that makes sense to me.
And see, you literally just explained like a deeper explanation of what I stated before about every fourth season we have a fire
Mm,
season. So every fourth season we get a boost.
yeah.
So when you're boosted up here, then Capricorn season comes, you get a little lower. Aquarius season
Mm,
comes, you get a little lower. Pisces season comes, you're down there, kind of like Scorpio season, and then
mm,
you lift back up with Aries. So this is the uplifting moment that I feel like people should take advantage of. And because of it being so, like, what do we have during after Thanksgiving? We have Black Friday, and a lot of people are trying to figure out the best price, the best time to go, the best place to go, the best place to learn to buy from. So
yeah.
it's almost like Sagittarius's learning energy turns into researching discounts, researching sales.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's been capitalized, capitalismed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. With
Interesting.
maybe it wasn't actually like I'm sure they
No.
weren't like, all right,
Y-
Sagittarius season, people are
No,
gonna
of
be
course
doing
not.
that.
But it's
But
just
yeah.
interesting how that happens. Like that's
Hmm.
kind of why we're doing this is just to like bring light to that. What about this is kind of unrelated, but I mean we're in a like a Jupiter retrograde, I believe, and Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde ends the end of November, so the 29th. How does that play in at all to this?
I feel like with Jupiter specifically retrograding,
Mm,
it could be maybe a little less optimistic than usual. And that's why when you said optimism, I made a little bit of a face
yeah.
because you got to keep in mind with mutable signs, their stereotype could also flip to the total other extreme. Specifically with mutable signs, can everybody do this? Yes. But
Yeah.
mutable signs purposely could have a super optimistic moment and then
Hmm.
like lowest to the low moment within 3 days it could happen.
Interesting.
So that could be also, for people that don't have any immediate family or extended family, this part of the year is not very optimistic for them.
Yeah, I personally hate it. It's least favorite time for me. Yeah.
Right. But it will
Yeah.
bring you, like, if you are aware and you are
Mhm.
connected to your consciousness, which like you definitely are and work on, you
Mhm.
are an individual who will figure out ways to create optimism during this time.
Yeah,
People who
absolutely.
sit in like the pessimistic mud, they just sit there until
I
basically
see. So
April.
if I understand this correctly, it's mutable energy time, just for lack of a better word. And so if you're leaning into, you can essentially go really optimistic and it's amazing, or you can go real like it's extreme versions of each side,
Yes,
possibly. Yeah.
for every
I see.
mutable season.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then we're also, what is today, the 19th? We have depending on where you are in the world, we have a new moon tonight, tomorrow in Scorpio. How do you think that plays in? It being the end of Scorpio season, literally going into with a Scorpio new moon.
I feel like it's perfect. I feel like
Yeah.
it couldn't be any more perfect, honestly, because it literally happens as the sun is finding its way into Sagittarius.
Mhm.
Because if this, good thing you just said that. I had a feeling when I sat down today to do the reading,
Yeah.
I was like, 2 weeks has definitely passed. I feel like we're upcoming
Yeah.
a moon.
Yeah.
And I just did a regular, like, next 24 hours, but
It's
I'll get
it's
back
like
on my
1:30 a.m. Eastern time. I don't if that's helpful.
on the
So tet
19th or the 20th.
on the 20th. So
Okay, yeah.
so
So that's
tonight,
definitely
I
perfect.
mean for us, yeah, we'll air, but yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's perfect because it gives you like one last release of
Hmm.
Scorpio season. It gives you one last hurrah of it all where you can really, like, really release what no longer serves you. Because I do feel like, because of all of the retrogrades, specifically this year, I feel like how the regular collective of moving through seasons goes, where like Leo gives you a boost, Virgo puts you into the routine, Libra helps with the balance, Scorpio gives you a little bit of difficulty there. I feel like this Scorpio season was like just a little bit harder than
Hmm.
others because of the retrogrades and possibly because of just the
It's interesting.
fact that it's a 9 year in numerology.
It's interesting that you say that because I was telling you how I was really sick earlier. That happened like within days of the retrograde starting in Scorpio season. And I was the most sick I've been in years, 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 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't go and do anything really. That's a whole other thing. But
It could have been like a symptom of the release, like your
yeah.
body, like your mind and your emotions going through a release, but then your body
Mhm.
having to catch up with it and saying, like, okay, well, we have all of these toxins and mucus or
Yeah.
whatever that's like sitting in the lymph system. Let's get it out. And then it decides to
Mhm.
get it out all at one time, which does make sense with Scorpio season to get that type of sick.
Yeah. It was not fun. But
And weather change.
yeah, the weather changed too.
Yeah, so I have a Sagittarius in Jupiter. So it
Hmm.
actually is at home in my birth chart, which I always felt was like a good thing because if the zodiac sign is ruled by the planet, it probably likes being there.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, it is also in the ninth house. So I am one of those people that if I do not feel intellectually stimulated, like if I don't feel like I'm learning something from someone, whether it's like friends, romance, anything that is I'm giving my time to, I get bored and I don't want to do it. I want to expand elsewhere. So I definitely either feel like that's the Pisces shared energy with Jupiter,
Hmm.
or it is actually my Jupiter placement that feels the need to expand and do things and just I need to be continuously stimulated and like learning things. Maybe not like 24/7, 7 days a
Yeah.
week,
But you
six,
also don't want
five
to just
days.
like rot forever.
Right. If I'm too
Yeah.
bored, I can't handle that. Like
Mm.
I'll even put on like a YouTube video of them explaining like the ancient Egyptians or these people that think that there's the aliens over here. I'm like, all right, whatever. At least I'm learning
Yeah.
something that I didn't know before.
Yeah.
and it just keeps my energy moving. Do you
And
have a
and
Sagittarius North Node?
no, I
Well, that's okay. I don't really have much Earth in my chart, so
yeah, I'm like I have no water, really. I guess I have Scorpio
right.
and wherever that is, but yeah, no Sag, unfortunately.
I also feel like Sagittarius is really good with learning and teaching how to heal
Hmm.
because it does have a connection to Chiron, like the planet, like the wounded healer.
Hmm.
So I feel like with I guess you could say the stereotype of Sagittarius in general, I feel like that would make sense because if a Sagittarius is more open to new knowledge, they would be more open to different ways of healing or wealth or abundance or manifestation and things along those lines, which I feel like, and then in turn, they could teach to other people. Like, for example, my sister is a Sagittarius moon and
Hmm.
she's an English teacher.
Oh,
My Yeah, my
interesting.
friend who is a hairstylist, she is a hairstylist, but she did like blowout classes to like teach people how to blow their hair out without needing to like book a blow dry at the salon really fast. They could do it themselves. So, if you are a Sagittarius watching this and there is some type of something that you feel like you're good at or that you know or you have wisdom in, teach it to people. They will, whatever price you put on it, you will at least find, at least, unless it's not like super out of the box where you're like, okay, a blow drying class costs $2,000. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
But something that is, normal and in balance with things, and you will see people will buy
So
it or want it.
I'm trying to make a correlation to this time in teaching. Is there any sort of learning that goes on in Sagittarius season outside of Thanksgiving? But there's no like, you know what I'm asking? Like school related, like you're starting the swim
Not
stuff.
necessarily because like
Yeah.
people actually like I don't think they have off that long for Thanksgiving. I think it's
Hmm.
just like the Thursday and Friday, so there isn't as
Yeah.
much like offness. But technically, Sagittarius is your last season of like really strong learning
Hmm.
until a Christmas break, where you take a break
Oh,
from
there we
learning.
go. Yeah, there we
Yes,
go.
yeah,
Hence,
that's where
okay.
you're going. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
Sagittarius is like your last hurrah for that moment
Hmm.
and then you get Christmas break, depending on if you're in college or high school or whatever. It depends how long it is. And then you return back in January, and then the learning recontinues. But there you go. Yeah, Sagittarius gives you your
Yeah.
last hurrah of learning
And
for
that
that year.
makes sense because it ends December 21st,
Hmm.
and that's around like Christmas break, I think,
Yeah,
for school, like
that is
right on.
exactly around it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So as soon as that stops, it's like, all right, we're done learning.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's like, all right, relaxation
that's so
or
weird.
celebration. I know. And it's so crazy because you wouldn't like put these things out there like in your own brain unless you're like actually just like fully taking a half an hour of your day to think about Sagittarius
Yeah,
season.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is
it's
why
so
like
crazy.
talking about it is so cool because it's like, oh my God, no, that is weird. Because I didn't even
Hmm.
think about that either. Like that is your last moment of like learning before you take a break.
Yeah, that's that's wild. That's great. Good stuff.
Yeah. So if you're a
Yeah,
Sagittarius or have any type of anything you want to say or experience with Sagittarius energy, drop it in the comments down below.
awesome. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time. Bye.